So the dough has been started its rising process. It's been about an hour and a half since I sat it in the stove to start its bulk ferment and rising. You can kind of see that it's started to rise. It's starting to get a little bit of a jiggle to it, but this is not finished. So in the final video, I show what the finished dough will look like. This is just sort of the middle of the process. So what we're going to do here, either it's called a stretch and fold or a coil fold, the purpose being to build up gluten in the bread. You really don't have to do this. I usually do one. Some people do them every 30 minutes. Again, that's just too much work for me. I find that doing one works. I've made loaves where I've been busy and I've done none other than that initial slap and fold when I create the dough. And honestly, they all turn out about the same. But I have time today, so I'm just gonna show you how to do some stretch and folds. I usually do coil folds. So you wanna make your hands wet. And I like to loosen up the sides of the dough first, just so that it's kind of loosened up. And you'll feel it feels a little different. It feels like a little more airy. A coil fold, you just pick it up so that it folds in half, and then you kind of fold it over on itself. And I'm going to do it one more time that direction. I just kind of use my fingers and then fold it over. It did stick a little bit. Normally it doesn't stick. My hand wasn't as wet as it should have been. And then I'm going to turn the bowl, and then I'm going to do the same thing the opposite direction. Let it stretch a little, fold down over onto itself. And these are called coil folds. I prefer these. People do stretch and folds where they pull out a corner, fold it back. I just like these. I'm just trying to, and you'll feel it gets stiffer as you do this. So I'm finished. That's really it. It's not much to it. And you can kind of see the dough on the top. There's a few air bubbles starting to form on the top of the dough. And that's exactly what you want to see. So cover goes back on and it goes back in the oven to finish its bulk fermentation. And then the final video where we remove it from the bowl and shape it into the pan shows you what it should look like at the end of bulk fermentation. So if you forget about your dough and it bulk ferments too long, it will rise up too high and then it will fall. So that when you bake that, it won't really have that nice, what we call oven spring, where you bake bread and it like poofs up. So then that would tell you you overproofed your dough. If you underproof it, it could potentially not rise enough. So that's where there's a little bit of a learning curve in learning to look at your dough and know when it's finished with the bulk ferment. The video that I put up at towards the end of this series is a really good example of what it should look like when it's done. And it should be roughly double in size of what you started with. So that also gives you a clue. And as you make a couple loaves, you'll start to be able to feel what it feels like when it's finished with the bulk ferment process.